There's something in this world that everyone fears and no one understands. It is the dark. People tell you they aren't afraid of the dark, but throw them into pure darkness where you can't even see your hands in front of your own face. Then watch them scream. Unfortunately, this is a fact that everyone can't hide from. The darkness is everywhere, even within us. We pull away and try to hide, but ha! It's futile. No matter what we do, no matter where we go, the unfortunate truth is that the darkness is right there. Next to you, behind you, and even sharing the bed with you. As children, we had all right to be afraid of the dark, as the dark holds more than our minds can ever imagine or perceive. There are things in the dark alone that science could never explain, and that is where my story begins. As a child, I was always curious about the shadows that lurked, and the dark that creeped upon us at night. I always wondered why we shivered when it wasn't cold, or why we felt like someone was there when we were all alone. These were the questions that many around me asked, but as a child, these questions sparked a curiosity within me. Back then, my dad would always warn me of the dark, and told me to never let it take me. But me being me, I thought I was brave. When I was around 10 years old, I found I had a gift, yet a curse all the same. I loved my ability, but now I've come to fear it. Many people call it the sixth sense, or the third eye, but I call it porta, meaning gateway in Latin. My ability is great and fearful. I have the chance to see everything and anything. My ability allows me to see what others don't and feel what others can't. I have the sense that my ability opens a gateway into this world unknown to many. One night, my curiosity got the best of me. I decided I'd suit up in black pants, shirt and sneakers to match the dark. I thought if I was the dark will come to me. So I got myself ready, and I started walking along the dark halls of my childhood home. Here and there I met a few of my friends, the headless boy and the girl with no mouth. They never meant any harm, so I played with them once in a while. But that night, I had a mission to complete, one I had to do. So I told them that I couldn't play that night, and I told them my plans. They warned me and said it was dangerous, that I shouldn't do it. But yeah, obviously I refused to listen. I went on with my travels to the furthest point of the house, where the house was darkest. I found a quiet and quaint corner to sit. There I sat in silence, waiting for the dark. Then suddenly I started to shiver, yet it was a very warm night. That's when I knew my plan was coming into fruition. I knew the darkness itself was accepting me into its embrace. I could now sense I wasn't alone anymore. I saw the area around me getting darker. I was soon engulfed into the dreary atmosphere of the dark. I started to feel a bit fearful, but I bit my lip and I told myself that I am brave. Nothing can harm me, or so I thought. I came to realize that the inky darkness was all around me. I couldn't see a thing. Oddly enough, I smiled a little bit, knowing my plan was working. Shortly after this development, I could hear a crackling noise, one of a burning fire mixed with breaking bones. I started feeling fear rise up within me, but again I bit my lip, standing my ground. The sound was definitely new to me, so it piqued my interest. I started to stand up and I made my way towards the noise. The closer I got, the more I shivered, as if someone was passing over my grave. The area around me was engulfed in just pure, gloomy darkness. I couldn't see a thing as I was walking forward. But suddenly I was met with a blue and red orb floating, moving in a dancing motion. The noises too got louder, and I saw something that chilled me to the core. I saw a shadowy girl with seaweed for hair, her eyes with the dancing orbs, and she wore a Stygian dress. She danced around a dimly blue fire that sat upon several mutilated corpses. I then shook my head, coming to understand what I have found. I found the answer to the dark, the truth behind our fear. In a state of fear, I turned to leave, but that's when I heard her. "Leaving so soon, my darling? The show just started." I nodded my head and swallowed hard. She then let out a cackle that made me shiver. I then heard her bones crack as she started walking towards me. I took off running, but in the dark I couldn't see a thing. So I just kept running straight in hopes to get out. I was running for about 10 minutes until I hit a wall and fell to the floor. Feeling disorientated, I looked around me in hopes that I could see again, but I couldn't. Tears began to stream down my face as I heard her breath against my ears. I then let out a very sorry cry, and I tried to get up, but she soon was upon me, holding me down. As I began to struggle, she slipped a hand into my chest like a ghost would slip through a wall. I don't know how, but I could feel her squeezing and playing with my heart. The heated pain that coursed through my body was unbearable and excruciating. I thought she was going to kill me, and those would have been my last breaths. But she then let go, moving off of me. She gave an evil laugh and spoke once again. "You're so young, so fragile. I could take you in one go, but now is not your time. Your time will be the day that my darkness engulfs you again and I take your soul as mine." She laughed, walking off. Once she was gone, I felt hands upon my shoulders pulling me from the darkness, to notice it was only the boy and girl to save me. I was truly happy to see them, but not happy with the result of my mission. To this day, I will never step into the darkness, as it is the realm of death. Death is always there waiting for you, and this is why we get these feelings. This is why we should never step into the dark. It is because death itself is checking upon you to see when it's your time, and this is why we shiver when it's not cold. This is why we feel someone is always there, even if we're alone.